Hey everybody, so today's dish is going to be beef tips and noodles. So what we have in the crock pot right now is 2 pounds of it's top sirloin steak. I get meat deliveries from a ranch locally, and one of the cuts that they always include is some top sirloin, which is really good. It's either choice or prime, but it's not anything I like to grill, like the strip steaks or the ribeyes or the T-bones that they include. So I usually end up using this for recipes like this. Typically, you would use either stew meat or you'd buy shoulder or chuck roast, whichever you could find cheapest, and cut it up into cubes like this. So all I've done is cut this up, put it in the crock pot on the bottom here, and I put a little bit of fresh ground black pepper and kosher salt in this bowl. Let me see if I can get this up here without spilling it. So what I have in here is going to go on top of that is 1 can of beef broth, a packet of brown gravy mix, a can of cream of mushroom soup, and we're going to also put some vegetables in here. I've cut up a couple of cloves of garlic, minced them fine, about half a white onion, also minced up fine. That stuff in the crock pot will just kind of fall apart, disappear into the gravy, so you won't have like chunks of vegetables in there. So we're going to pour this mixture. Again, that's the soup, a can of beef broth, and the packet of brown gravy. It's just a dehydrated packet. Any brand will do. And that's going to make your gravy. I've got this on low. Once you've got everything in there, you just put the lid on it and leave it alone for 6 to 7 hours. It's going to make the meats like super tender. No matter what you use, this is going to be a little tender to start with because I'm using actual sirloin, top sirloin. If you use a chuck or shoulder steak or even stew meat, which I don't recommend because stew meat's the same thing as shoulder or chuck roast. It's just pre-cut, and they end up charging you like $2-3 more per pound for it because they cut it up. When you can buy a 2.5 pound shoulder or chuck roast usually for around $7 to $9 and cut it up yourself. So I would do that if you're going to go that direction. So we're just going to leave the lid on it, let it cook for, like I said, somewhere between 6 and 7 hours. We'll test it, and then we'll make some white egg noodles as per package instructions, and we'll thicken this gravy up a little bit with some roux, and then we'll put everything, this will be served over the top of the egg noodles when everything's done. So we'll see you in 6 hours. Okay, we are 7 hours later, and everything is done. Pull the lid off. So you can see the meat, and it made a nice gravy. So I'm going to do a little bit of test here, because we're actually going to eat this, me and my daughter and the grandkids, for dinner tonight. Just so everybody can see what it looks like done. So these are just white egg noodles. They were dry. I cooked them for 8 minutes in boiling water according to the package directions. And then you drain all the water off. I put them back in the same pot, and I always put some butter in there and stir it in. Keeps them from sticking together when you keep them in the pot dry like that. And then the meat's just falling apart, so it's really hot, but I'll give it a try. So awesome, the steak just falls apart in your mouth. And the gravy's real good. But it's like super, super hot. So this is another one of those dinners, like we'll feed 4 people tonight, but you could easily feed probably 6 people with this. If you had to go buy everything that I used in this, you would probably spend less than $10. Especially if you I used steak because I had some in the freezer, but like I said, you could go to your local grocery store and get like a 2.5 pound chuck or even shoulder roast and just cut it into chunks and throw it in there. And those are generally, if you catch them on sale, you can sometimes get them for like $6 or $7. The package of, if you use a store brand package of the brown gravy, it's like $1 or sometimes less than that, 75 cents. The rest of that's just like half an onion chopped up and a clove of garlic, and then a can of beef broth, or if you have some beef base or beef bouillon, you can make a cup of beef broth and throw in there. So it's really simple to make. It's very delicious. You can feed a lot of people, and it's pretty dang cheap. So thanks for watching. See you on the next one.